Okay, so let's talk about this debacle from yesterday. The Eagles got pounded 15-31 in Tampa Bay. This is our first time losing a playoff game by double digits since 2009 when the Cowboys beat us. It was just an awful game to watch. And I just want to get this out the way first. This loss was not because of the refs. I'm not blaming the refs for this loss. I've never been that kind of fan, and I never will be. But the calls at the beginning of this game were terrible. Terrible calls, okay? So firstly, Derek Barnett got called for roughing the passer when we were about to force a third and long. Derek Barnett got called for roughing the passer. And I've never been a fan of Derek Barnett. I've been ranting about Derek Barnett this entire season. But for once, I'm going to defend Derek Barnett. That was a terrible call. He went for his waist and he was going upwards. Derek Barnett, for once in his life, he was not guilty of roughing the passer. That is a huge call as we're about to force a third and long. And for the refs to make that bullcrap call that early in the game, it was horrible. And the Buccaneers, they scored a touchdown off that drive. Who knows how that drive could have ended, but that was not roughing the passer against Derek Barnett. Okay? Derek Barnett, that guy drives me nuts. I can't stand Derek Barnett. I never liked the pick. I never wanted Derek Barnett. I wanted Marlon Humphrey. But that penalty against him yesterday was a crock of bull spit. It was horrible. And then there was another penalty I want to talk about. I can't remember if it was in the first half or the second half, but Dallas Goedert, he was running for like a 30-yard gain. A 30-yard gain. And then it gets wiped out due to a holding penalty against Jason Kelce. That was a bad call too. Where was the hold? I did not see any hold on that particular penalty. He got called for another holding penalty later in the game. That one was actually a good call. That holding penalty made sense. But this other holding penalty that Kelce got flagged for, the one that wiped out a 30-yard gain by Dallas Goedert, that was a horrible penalty too. So those are two unexcusably horrible penalties called by the referees. But that's enough about the referees. It wasn't their fault that we lost this game. I mean, they didn't help us, but we lost this game on our own. It wasn't the ref's fault. So let's talk. One of my main worry about this game was Jonathan Gannon. And I emphasized starting fast in this game, how we couldn't fall behind like we were falling behind against the Giants, the Jets, Washington. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. We fell behind 17-0 in like the blink of an eye. And what's funny to me is that early in the game, just like earlier this season when we played the Buccaneers, we let Tom Brady just air it out and just kill us early in this game. He's throwing it to like 6 different receivers, I believe. He's throwing it to all these guys, no pressure on him at all. He's getting all these easy completions, just moving down the field at relative ease, however he wants, just doing whatever he wants with the Eagles defense. We're down 17-0, and then the defense decides to start playing better. Jonathan Gannon, after we're down 17-0, he decides to get aggressive. He decides to get aggressive after we're already trailing by a 17-0 score. I believe after they went up 17-0, we got 3 consecutive 3-and-outs. We got 3 consecutive 3-and-outs against the Tampa Bay offense. Where was that kind of aggressiveness when the game started? Where was that kind of aggressiveness at the beginning of the game? Ryan Kerrigan, who has been MIA all season, he finally did something. Ryan Kerrigan, I believe he had 2 sacks. Ryan Kerrigan, this guy has been missing all season long, and he finally shows up yesterday. I mean, where was this Ryan Kerrigan all year? Where was that Ryan Kerrigan? Josh Sweat missed this game, and I think that was a huge blow because I think Josh Sweat is one of our best defensive linemen. But Ryan Kerrigan, he actually was doing some work yesterday. Ryan Kerrigan actually contributed yesterday. And now let's talk about the offense. Jalen Hurts had a terrible game. I'm not sure if this was worse than the Giants game, but it was very bad. A lot of overthrows again. I thought he was making some progress with his throwing the past few weeks, especially in the two Washington games. Less so the Giants game, the second Giants game, but I thought he was making some progress, and it appeared that he took a few steps back yesterday. He overthrew Watkins, he overthrew Goddard, and we weren't targeting Devontae Smith when this game was in contention. When the game was in our reach, we completely ignored Devontae Smith. What the heck? This is your number one receiver. This is the guy who leads your team at receiving yards, and you're not targeting him until garbage time. What's up with that? What's up with that, Nick Sirianni? The run game, I expected us to run all over Tampa Bay. I did, I'm not going to lie. I did think we were going to run it down their throats, but they stopped our running game. And it got to a point where we were down by so much, you had to throw. You had to throw. After we were down 17-0, you had to win this game with your arm. And Jalen Hurts, I like the guy, but he couldn't do it yesterday. He couldn't win the game with his arm. In fact, there was one play right before halftime. He's scrambling, he's running to his right, and then he throws an awful interception right before halftime. It is exactly what happened against the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium. Right before halftime in that game, he scrambles, he throws, intercepted. And that was a huge momentum swinger in that Giants game. We went on to lose that Giants game 7-13. In this game, the exact same thing happens. He makes a terrible throw, and it gets intercepted right before halftime. You could have come away with points there. You could have came away with points. It was exactly what happened in the Giants game. It was the Giants incident on repeat. Hurts, I really like Hurts. I think he's earned another year as starter, but he can't make that throw. And I was just shocked that he made that same mistake again. He made the same mistake again after how we saw it cost us that Giants game. And people are saying that play is also on Devontae Smith for stopping and waiting for the ball to come back to him instead of just moving up forward like he waited for the ball, but instead of moving up. But Hurts shouldn't have thrown that ball. Like, you got to call a spade a spade. Hurts should not have thrown that pass. He shouldn't have. In fact, and if he was going to throw it, he should have threw it way earlier. I don't think that was Devontae Smith's fault. You got to blame Hurts. You got to blame Hurts for that throw. And then Jalen Rager. So Jalen Rager, he's had issues on punt returns all year. It's like he can never get anything going on punt returns. And there was a few times yesterday he stayed true to that narrative where I thought that he bumbled some potential good field position by not doing much on punt returns. He hesitates. He really hesitates on these punt returns. He had a good punt return against the Giants a few weeks ago, and I thought, okay, maybe Rager's starting to get his confidence back. But no, he digressed yesterday. A lot of hesitating on punt returns. But then, and this is the moment that I think absolutely changed this game, that for sure slammed the door on a possible Eagles comeback. We forced, like I said earlier, a third consecutive 3-and-out against the Buccaneers defense. And their punter, he was punting from their end zone. So this punt, you're going to get good field position from this punt. You're down 17-0, but you're going to be set up at like midfield. And this is a good opportunity to go down and score. So the punter punts the ball, and then Rager, he muffs the punt. The Buccaneers recover it, and I think at that point the game was over. I did have some hope for us to possibly come back. We were down 17-0. It didn't look good. I had some hope that we would come back, but when Rager muffed that punt, when he messed up that punt, I knew that the game was over. Game over. The ball, it hits his hands, and then I think Scotty Miller came up to him, and he loses the punt. He muffed it, the Buccaneers recover, and they took control of it. They took control of the rest of the game. I really thought that we may have had a potential opportunity to come back in this game and make it competitive, but that punt, it ended us. It ended our season. That muffed punt ended our season. And you know what? It's time to call a spade a spade. Jalen Rager, he stinks. He stinks. I didn't throw him under the bus last year because it was rookie season. I thought that, okay, he was playing with a struggling quarterback in Carson Wentz. Maybe he can redeem himself this year under a new head coach, under a new starting quarterback. Maybe Jalen Rager, he can just step up this year and prove that he's worthy of a first-round pick. And he did not. He did not. Jalen Rager is the guy, he's not good. He's just not that good. I was holding out hope, but I'm going to call it what it is. Jalen Rager is not that good. And it's a shame because at TCU, he was lethal on punt returns. And to see him hesitate on these punt returns, to not be able to just get anything going on punt returns, I'm just really shocked by that because it was his strong suit in college. Rager, that we really messed up with that pick. We messed up with that pick. I was hoping that we would trade up for CeeDee Lamb because he was falling. He was falling. And the Cowboys were at 17. The Falcons were at 16. I was praying that we would trade up with the Falcons so that we could get CeeDee Lamb. It didn't happen. The Cowboys, they were at 17. They take CeeDee Lamb. That was the guy I wanted. Justin Jefferson wasn't even my main target. I wanted CeeDee Lamb that entire time. So we lost CeeDee Lamb, and I'll be honest, I wasn't too big on Justin Jefferson because I kind of fell for the narrative that he would only be a slot receiver, a Mr. Slot, if you will. And I'm going to eat my words on that. I was completely wrong. I was completely wrong about Justin Jefferson. I should not have bought into that narrative about him only being able to play in the slot. We should have took Jefferson. We messed up with the Rager pick. Rager, he legit may be the worst Howie Roseman pick. We do remember Danny Watkins, the fireman. We do remember another receiver, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Umbrella Man. But Rager he can't do anything. It's like the guy, he can't do anything. How many games did he finish with like negative yardage? I know the Saints game he finished with negative yardage. The Chargers game he finished with negative yardage. And it was another game too. I think it was 3. And now, to be honest, it's not all on Rager. He doesn't do himself any favors, but it's not all on him. We keep calling the same play over and over with Rager. This jet sweep play that hasn't worked since week 1 against the Atlanta Falcons, the very first game of the season. It hasn't worked since week 1. And we kept trying it, and we just get negative yardage every time. Every time. So very disappointing way to end the season yesterday. I'm not going to lie. I legitimately thought that we were going to win this game. I did. I thought we were going to run the ball down the Buccaneers' throat. I thought Hurts was going to have a good game. It didn't happen. But you know what? I'm still hanging my head high. Because this Eagles team, we overachieved. This was a team that was projected to win 3 or 4 games. 3 or 4 games. We finished 9-8. We recovered from a 2-5 start. It was our worst start since 1999, and we got into the playoffs. Nobody thought we were going to be here. We overachieved. It's a shame it ended how it did. Jalen Rager muffing a punt. He stinks. Jalen Hurts had a bad game. Dallas Goedert can be such a mixed bag. He makes unbelievable catches at times. And then he'll make mind-numbing drops. He had a really bad drop yesterday. It went right through his hands. And I don't think there was anybody in front of him, so it might have been a touchdown. I know that there was a ton of green in front of him, so that could have been a score. And it's a shame how it ended. But hold your heads high, Eagles fans, because we proved haters wrong. We didn't go 4-13. We didn't go 3-14. We didn't win 5 games. We went 9-8. We had a winning record. It is true. It is true that we did go 0-6 against playoff teams. But this team, we overachieved this year. We did what people didn't think was possible. We made it to the playoffs with a first-year head coach, a first-year starting quarterback, a very young team, and we did it. So I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of my Eagles for what they did in this 2021 season. Our season is over, but I'm proud. I'm proud of this team. Now look at the Dallas Cowboys. This was a team, they started the year 6-1. People were saying, oh, this is our year. We go to the Super Bowl. Trayvon Diggs is the best quarter in the league. Dak Prescott, he's an MVP. Ezekiel Elliott, he's back. And what happened for them? Now, the Eagles, at least we went into a game where we weren't expected to win. I expected us to win, but most people, they did not expect the Eagles to win. And we went on the road and got destroyed by the defending Super Bowl champions. The Cowboys, they were favored at home. This was a home playoff game. This game was at AT&T Stadium. And they got beat by the 49ers. They choked at home. My camera cut off on me again. But anyway, as I was saying, the Cowboys, people had them at least winning one playoff game. People had them going far. People thought they could reach the NFC Championship. And what happened? In this playoff game at home, this playoff game was at AT&T Stadium. They got beat by the San Francisco 49ers. This Cowboy team did not win a playoff game. People had them going deep, and they got bounced in the first round. So when I look at the Eagles season, we were a team that overachieved. This Cowboys team, with all that talent, Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Cedric Wilson, Zeke, they couldn't win one playoff game. They got bounced in the first round in a playoff game at home. And that made me feel a lot better because I'm not going to lie, I was pretty disheartened after the Buccaneers game. But to see the Cowboys get eliminated, to see them choke in the playoffs again, it was just, that lifted my spirits. That lifted my spirits quite nicely. The Cowboys, they keep honoring their tradition since 1996 of choking in the playoffs when they're expected to go far. So I have a lot of hope going into this next season because now these young players, they know what it's like to play in a playoff game. They know what it's like to be in these must-win games at the end of the season to clinch a playoff spot, And that experience is invaluable because now they've been around the bush a little bit. This will help them improve in the future. Nick Sirianni, I like what he did this year. He changed his offense completely when he saw that it wasn't working. I was disappointed with the play calling in this game yesterday of how Devontae Smith is your best receiver and you don't target him until the game is out of hand. You don't target your top receiver, Devontae Smith, until the game is out of hand and it's garbage time. Once the game is out of hand, once your loss is all but assured, then you start targeting Devontae Smith. It didn't make sense, Nick Sirianni. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott. Boston Scott had a touchdown. Shout out to him. Jordan Howard, our running backs, they weren't able to get a lot going. But it's okay, guys. We will be back next year. This Eagles team, we're going to be dangerous next year. Go Birds.